And I kept on trying to die with a lie.
Yeah.
So she goes, "What's this?" And I said, "Oh, that's the receipt from a few days ago. I had same shorts on." "Why is it today's date on?" "I've got nothing back to that. I'm out. I lied." It's a white lie. Things that we try and get away with. Jake, what up?
How's it going?
I'm all right. You?
Yeah, all good. All good. We're at the moment, we're recording this in the afternoon, and we spent quite a lot this morning having one of the first of our weekly check-ins. So operationally, we are not great between the two of us. We're very creative, and we tend to kind of move quickly a lot of the times. So we've basically made this pact between us that we're going to be a little bit better organizationally.
What did Mark Zuckerberg say? Which I loved. We've taken it quite literally. He wants to move fast to break things.
Yeah.
And we move fast and we break things.
Yeah.
But it's about making sure that you fix things along the way, I guess.
Well, this is the thing. As we kind of scale this and as we move into more locations, it's funny. It's what got you here won't necessarily be what gets you there. And I think part of why we've built this so quickly is just through that willingness, like I said, to do stuff quickly.
Yeah.
And now I think we're going to just try and calm things down a little bit.
Rein in on ops. Yeah.
Be way more organizational.
Manage things better. We're definitely on the way there.
And that feeds into personal life as well, isn't it?
Good segue. Funny story for everyone listening to this, and hopefully a lot of you resonate. It was my wife's birthday on Saturday. Now, I've been with my wife 15, 16 years, a long time. And we've been away a lot lately, and it's kind of, things got away, Jake, from me. And on Friday, I haven't got anything for her yet. Not even a card. Shocker. And my wife wakes up and she goes, "You have got everything sorted for tomorrow, haven't you?" For her birthday.
I love that. That is the sign of a good romantic relationship when your wife has to remind you of her birthday.
And I said, yeah, it's all in hand. She goes, "You got a cake?" Yeah, I've got a cake. Full well knowing I haven't got a cake. And she goes, "Okay, nice. It is the one from Marks and Spencer's, the one I like." "Of course it's the one from Marks and Spencer's, the one you like, love." "Of course it is. I know you. Don't underestimate me."
Meanwhile, your head is thinking, I need to go to M&S.
How quickly can I get there, right? So in the afternoon, race there, got the cake that she likes, did everything I needed to do. And then got home and I walked in with the cake and said, "Sweetheart, this has been in my car for a few days. I need to, luckily it's been in the boot, so it's not hot. I need to bring it in. Do you mind if I bring it in? It doesn't need to go in the fridge." And she goes, "Yeah, that's fine." Brought it in, the cake that she wanted. Yeah. Thinking, got away with it. I got away with it. Anyway, about an hour later, we're sitting in the lounge and I had to go get my other daughter. So I quickly got up, raced out the door to get the door, come back, and the receipt had dropped out my back pocket and she was holding it in her hand.
Oh, God.
And I kept on trying to die with a lie.
Yeah.
So she goes, "What's this?" And I said, "Oh, that's the receipt from a few days ago. I had same shorts on." "Why is it today's date on?" "I've got nothing back to that. I'm out. I lied." It's a white lie. Things that we try and get away with.
Well, it's one of those things. I guess the intention was there. You bought a cake in the end, and
it worked out in the end. I did a few really nice bits, and it worked out.
So she's obviously on the hunt for a new husband.
Yeah.
And we're going to show you how to go on the hunt to find new coaches in today's episode. That was just smooth.
Henry's nodding his head. He liked that one.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about 3 ways to find new coaches without having to run paid ads.
So this is going to be very tactical, step by step, the way we love it. And I say without paid ads because that is usually the go-to, isn't it? It's I need to source new coaches or new clients, whatever. I'm just going to run some paid ads and hope, that they come and become clients or you become coaches. But we've found 3 organic, fairly creative ways that you can go about actually sourcing these coaches. And this is one of the big questions we get, especially during the launch process of guys, we tick the box in terms of launch, but I need to actually figure out a way of getting, people to actually service these clients. And that's what we're going to go through. Yeah,
it's definitely something we didn't necessarily get lucky with this when we opened this location, but we certainly had a step up, I would say, in getting the coaches, because 3 of the coaches that come here we were working with to help grow their online businesses, and obviously 1 come from the other location we own. So we managed to fill our studio up here with 5 coaches very quickly and take us out of the game very quickly. But we're going to give you 3 actual ways that you can do it if you don't have that luxury.
Because the problem is, I mean, it's very difficult to find great experienced coaches because oftentimes they are the ones who are already in demand and don't necessarily need to fill up any hours with you on the gym floor. So it's about kind of finding where your advantages are and what you can offer them and actually how it can help them in their life. One thing just from the top of my head, like, because of our coaches rarely take any more than 30% of the sessions here, I think all of them, bar one, predominantly service their clients online, don't they?
Yeah.
So I think a benefit to them is that I still get to scratch my itch on the gym floor without overextending myself to so many hours in the week. I get to just kind of go for like 4 hours a week and have fun, be a part of the community. And also that helps inform their content too. So a lot of them obviously record it here in the gym, and through having conversations with clients, they can start to think of different content ideas for their online side of the business. So that helps them. So I think, again, we as operators understood that and we empathized with that. So that's why we, that's kind of the angle that we took a lot with those guys in particular.
Yeah, it works well. Jake, let's talk about, let's go step 1 first.
Yeah, I mean, before you do anything, like the number one thing I would definitely recommend having is some kind of like local coach directory. So this is just like a spreadsheet with some columns in there for like name, email, phone number,
town,
Instagram handle, all that kind of stuff. Like, you got to think, you're not just looking to find coaches now, but you're looking to build this database that you can rely on potentially in the future too. So, sometimes, for example, if one of your coaches is ill or they're on holiday and you need to fill their spot, instead of trying to like panic and go on various different websites and try and find a coach to fill their position, you already have this asset within the business, which is a directory of local coaches that you can call upon. So that's like the number one thing before you do any of these steps, is just have that spreadsheet in your files, because you'll rely on it and it will become a huge asset in the business going forward.
When you're going to talk about number 1 and then we'll go from there. But when you first wrote this, I was like, gym scrapping. We're going to have a fight in the gym.
Yeah. The most victorious one wins and they become your coach. Fight to the death.
Let's go through number 1 then. 3 tactical ways that you can get new coaches, or certainly have sit-down conversations with new coaches so then you can decide if they're a good fit or not for your brand and location. Jake, take it away. I'll go 2, you go 3.
Yeah, so number 1 is gym scraping. And this is going to sound like unethical and immoral, and that's definitely not the intention.
And that's definitely how it is.
Yeah, that's definitely not the intention here. But basically what this is it's going on to like gyms nearby their websites, finding who's on their team, because usually these gyms have like our coaches or our team page on the website with people on there. And it's not about offering them a role within your gym to replace their current role. It's about offering them some more sessions, right? So obviously, if these guys are working at Anytime Fitness or, Pure Gym or wherever, then it might be that they're looking for some like low-hanging fruit sessions, perhaps like we said, 30% of sessions during the week that they can guarantee they'll get no matter what. And it acts as almost like their safety blanket, because remember, they don't have to program these sessions. They don't have to, turn up and email back and forth with these clients. These are your clients. The coaches just come in for that hour and obviously help fulfill them. So that's how I would approach the whole gym scraping idea. And the way that you would do it tactically is obviously list all of the surrounding gyms and studios in your radius, visit their websites, and then make a note in your directory. And this is going to be an ongoing theme with a lot of these points that we're going to make. It's obviously this directory, this spreadsheet that you have, this database is going to be used throughout all of these different ways of obviously sourcing coaches. So find the website, go on their page of their team, note down the names or as much information as you can. And usually you can cross-reference a lot of this stuff as well. So say, for example, you had John Doe as a Pure Gym coach, then you could also search on other social media platforms or LinkedIn or whatever for the same name in the same area. And you could probably start filling in a little bit more information on that database to kind of cross-reference everything. And then I'd reach out to each trainer on their most active platform. Again, you don't want to be emailing these guys if they don't necessarily respond to emails. Like if they seem to be very active on Instagram, for example, that's where I would DM them, because oftentimes they'll then do the homework on you and you'll have obviously all the gym photos and clients as part of your profile, which might obviously entice them even more. And then I'd reach out with something like really simple, like, hi, Jack, found you online. Say, for example, you're looking to launch this gym and you're looking to source coaches at the beginning. You could use that to your advantage too. You could say, I'm building a semi-private gym in your location. I have this many people on the waiting list, so you can prove that you've got demand and that they're going to have their sessions filled. Interested in chatting about coaching here. I'm looking for 3 more to join. It's a beautiful space and you'd be looked after. Right? Simple as that. See what they say and then obviously have the conversation from there.
Hey, quick one from us. If you're enjoying this episode, you'll love our free weekly newsletter.
It's for current and aspiring studio owners who are looking for the latest growth hacks to sign up more members and keep them.
It's a quick 2-minute email covering the stuff we're testing in our own gyms.
So you'll be getting access to what's working today.
If you're interested, you can join 3,500 gym owners and go to thefitpreneur.com and subscribe.
That's thefitpreneur.com. Anyway, back to the episode.
One final point to add to that. I think most coaches, a good majority of coaches, aren't looking to scale up in the way of building a new gym or a new studio, right? We talk about those being fitpreneurs, not necessarily one step ahead, but thinking more about scale more definitely. Most coaches are looking to just build and scale their coaching business, which normally is more personal training sessions or a hybrid of online and in-person PT. So having an extra 1 to 1.5K a month for these guys and getting diversity with their time during the week, like going somewhere else and seeing a new group of people, having someone else that they report to and have good chats with. Do you know what I mean? This makes a huge difference to a lot of coaches. So never assume that someone doesn't want to have a chat with you or sit down and talk about the position. I think it's really easy to look at some of these gyms and do your scraping and go, I know him, he's quite well known. Yeah. Like he's massive around here. Like he won't want to. Like send the message and actually see if he does, or she does, and have a look at where is there a possibility to have a sit down and get this killer into my business, right? And also one big thing that don't think small. Don't ever think, but what if he takes my clients? Jake, we've heard that, right?
Yeah.
What if he takes? What if he starts PTing here? Coaches. The clients really like him and then they just go do one-to-one with him. There is a reason the clients are doing small group PT. The majority of them have tried one-to-one and now they're doing small group PT. And if your product's good enough, they will not want to go anywhere. They're quite happy here.
Yeah, you got to have that trust, not only in your clients, but in the coaches as well.
Yes.
I think if you start off on that with that mindset, then you're always going to be like micromanaging or watching or and that distrust is going to be built from the beginning, which is never going to be good long-term in terms of the culture and what you're building.
It's back foot, isn't it? It's back foot management. And your coach is going to sense it straight away.
Yeah. Well, like to your point as well about you're kind of like not making the decision for your coaches beforehand in terms of thinking, that person's never going to join. Like we've got one of our coaches who's absolutely killing it online with his online training business. And having a conversation with him the other day, it was just like, look, I love doing the hours here, although they're not, I don't do loads of hours here, is because it gives me so much inspiration in terms of the content that I produce for my online clients. And I was like, that is so cool that obviously he comes here, he delivers really awesome sessions and he uses it as fuel for the other side of his business.
Yep.
Which again is something that is overlooked and something that you could use in terms of selling the position to these coaches as well.
Love it. Okay. Number 2, Jake, got a question for you.
Hit me.
If you wanted a mechanic, what would you do?
Phone dad.
Okay. If you want anything, you phone dad. If you want a mechanic, what was the second thing that you'd do after you phoned dad?
I would probably go and ask for somebody to recommend me a mechanic.
Okay, perfect. I was hoping you'd say that.
Sorry,
because then
I should have helped you.
I was really hoping you'd say that because that goes into our second way of finding a coach, and that is Facebook group recommendations. So obviously the biggest thing for us when we started scaling and launching this was our local Facebook group, right? About 10,000 people in. But it's so underutilized to find people. So this strategy is use local Facebook groups to find PT recommendations. How do you do this? Well, in every single Facebook group, like a notice board, there is a search bar, right? So you can go to that search bar and you can put in personal trainer or mechanic, but personal trainer. And normally what happens is the Facebook group will find all the times that personal trainer has been mentioned by someone, whether in a comment or in a post. And And then what you'll find comments and comments and comments, stacks of comments with people tagging personal trainers.
Yeah.
Right? Because someone's reached out on Facebook group and said, hi, looking for a personal trainer. Can anyone recommend anyone? And normally what happens is every single personal trainer and their friends and their family just want, obviously, them to get business. So they'll tag them in the comments. Now, one of our guys did this the other day. I think he reached out to like 15 personal trainers and he hired 2 of them off this strategy.
Yeah, that's not like, I'm literally just going to do it here, right? Hadley Noticeable, which is obviously where we're from. Personal trainer in the Facebook group. That's all I'm typing is personal trainer.
In the search bar.
There we go. I've got Gary from 23rd of April, 2023, looking for a personal trainer once or twice a week for 2 people. Any recommendations?
Perfect.
18 comments.
18.
And there's loads of people in there, obviously some of whom we already know from being local, all mentioned. And all you need to do then is like look and see what trainer's been the most mentioned.
Yeah.
Because obviously that person's the most popular. And then reach out to them in the same way that you would have done in the previous.
But reach out to all of them. So in that 18 comments, there might be 6 trainers mentioned there. Reach out to all 6, because even if someone's mentioned once, it might mean that they actually live 7 miles away and they're not so well known here, right? But actually 7 miles to come here and take 3 or 4 sessions is optimal for them. It's perfect.
But also remember too, you've got your directory, you've got your spreadsheet, your database, right? That you hold within the business. So don't only reach out to them, add them to your database, add their email, add their Instagram handle, because like a lot of these guys, for example, might not want to commit to all of these sessions, but they are still somebody that you can rely upon if you need like the cover for the odd one or 2.
Or like we've had recently, they might not, you might just have evening sessions for them, which they can't do because that's peak time, but they say, hey, Jake, let me know if there's any day sessions available or any morning sessions. So I'd love to jump into those. And as soon as they come available, you can go back to the directory, remember their details and who you spoke to and give them a call.
Or hire them just to program your sessions like we've done,
100%. So that is a great way. That is a super easy way. Anyone can do that. I would recommend when you're making this directory, like right at the start when we said you should do it, that is a great way to go get 10 to 50 trainers on a directory. Just go through these groups.
Yeah.
And even if you don't need to just go in your local town, like Ipswich is 10 miles away from us. It's massive. We're like pretty much all of our trainers are that way. None of them actually live in this town. They all travel anywhere between 5 and 12 miles, I think, to get here. So go to Ipswich, do the same thing and scrape 30 trainers from there as well. And then us, it would be Colchester and Bury and all these places, because you can build a pretty huge database.
Yeah, 100%. Coming on to the third way and the final way, and this was like a creative idea that I had after speaking with you. I mean, we had this conversation about incentives, didn't we? And I mean, what did you say is like...
Business is a game of incentives.
Yeah, and I 100% agree with that. And actually, I think you can leverage some of the relationships you have or the email lists or whatever that you're building. So this third way is like an email broadcast to your email list, right? So obviously, if you're launching a gym, the whole point of what we teach is building an email list from the beginning and trying to populate that list with as many local people as possible. So the way that I kind of thought about it was like we had somebody reach out to us saying like, obviously going through this process, like I'm launching the gym. I need coaches though. And I was like, okay, cool. Like how many do you now have on your waiting list? He said, well, I've got like 300 or so. So I was like, well, you could definitely leverage that audience even when it comes to actually sourcing coaches to service that audience, right? So the way that I kind of thought about it was you could offer a gift for any successful hires. So you send a broadcast basically doing the same thing as you would in a Facebook group, asking for recommendations of coaches. And remember, by this point, everybody is following along with your emails and is so invested in what you're doing that if they know a coach, they want that coach to be part of the process as well. So you're going to get loads of emails back saying, yes, I know James, he's local. He'd be amazing for this. Like I'm just looking at the gym that you're doing, like he would be perfect. So then you could also offer an incentive to these guys and basically just say, look, I would give a gift to everybody who'd mentioned so-and-so if I actually ultimately end up hiring that person, right? So obviously, it goes without saying, the first thing you're going to do is list all the recommendations anyway in your local coach directory, because even if you don't end up hiring these guys, what's the theme of this conversation? You might need them in the future. But I would definitely have some kind of like, even if it's like an Amazon voucher or something like that, where you say, look, for everybody that recommends so-and-so, and if I end up hiring so-and-so, then you're going to get maybe money off your first month or an Amazon voucher or something like that. Because that gets everybody obviously engaging and interacting with what you're doing. But I always like to think of like the frame of what would you do if you had to pay for a new coach? Like, would you do that? Would you run ads? Would you? And the answer is yes.
How much would it cost you? How much would you pay for a really good coach to come into your business?
That's what I mean. And if you know that number, and to be honest, like I think that number should be a very high number because as we've said before, like the coaches are a huge asset of what you have and what you're building. So I would just think of, okay, right, I'm going to give away, a free session to every single person that's recommended so-and-so. And if I end up actually hiring that person. So the way that I'd actually frame this in terms of the message, and again, this is all in the newsletter. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure you do and head back a few issues because we cover a lot of this in the newsletter. You can copy and paste loads of stuff. But I would say like, hi, James, recommended by, and actually you can actually say so-and-so has recommended you, which also increases the perceived value and all that anyway. But I'm building a gym in this location. I have X amount of people on the waiting list. Interested in chatting more about coaching here, looking for 3 more to join. It's a beautiful space, you'd be looked after. So you use the same kind of scripting, but this time you lead with, hey,
you've been recommended
Tom, you've been recommended by Jill. She's told me that I should definitely hire you as a coach. And that way there's more trust already bought in from the beginning.
Love it.
Yeah.
Mate, that was perfect. I don't have anything to add. So the 3 ways, remember, first of all, you have to build a directory. Okay. Number 1, go to Google Sheets, go to wherever you want to go.
You don't even need to do that. You can just go to our newsletter and then just copy the template that we've already built for you.
Just make it easier.
Yeah.
What's the newsletter URL, Jake?
Thefitpreneur.com. Subscribe, find the issue, copy and paste that spreadsheet, and you'll be winning.
We've done 30 minutes for you. Number 1 is gym scraping or scrapping, as I said. Finding gym. Finding all of those local gyms. Make sure you're scraping all of those personal trainers of those gyms onto your directory. Really, really important. And then reaching out to every platform on their most preferred platform. Every trainer on their most preferred platform, should I say. Number 2, group recommendations. Going to local Facebook groups, big notice boards with thousands of people on. In the search bar, personal trainer, and just making a list of all of those and reaching out to those guys. And number 3, email broadcast, as we just mentioned. Going to your list and finding recommendations from people who are already in your list and following your journey because they want to help, because they want to be part of it, because they've loved it so far.
Definitely.
Right?
And I think like just a point to round this off. Sorry, I'm like losing my voice. A point to round this off.
It's attractive, man.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to just start talking about this normally. Don't skimp on your coaches. I know we've said it so many times, but like I had somebody talk to us the other day saying, I'm going on holiday in a couple of weeks and I need another coach. Can I just get a coach to cover me when I'm on holiday? And so just like that whole mindset is just not going to work long term. Like find.
And another one I've heard, and frankly I'm sick of, is people going, oh yeah, but like what if that session doesn't have anyone in it? Can I just not? Do I have to pay the coach? Yes, you have to pay the coach. Yeah, Stop being such a cheap. Stop being cheap.
Because you lead with intention, right?
Yes.
So, at some point you're going to have to fill that slot, and you should feel compelled and incentivized to do that. And having somebody in place that you already pay is going to make you want to do that even more. So I think just having that kind of winning mindset as opposed to a limited, narrow mindset is only going to help you long term.
One of our coaches just on that point come up to me a few weeks ago and said he's come from small group PT space to us. And he said, I think it's so cool that, all your coaches they're still here from the start.
Mm.
And I thought that was normal. But he let me know that that's not very normal.
Yeah.
So it's really important. Like hiring great coaches takes effort, and keeping great coaches takes effort. And that's something that we're working on now even more. So make the effort because it's worth it.
100%. So there you go, guys. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that's going to help you find some coaches without spending loads of money on paid ads. There's some creative, fun ways that you can do it there. And until next time, have an awesome day.
That's the pod.